Hello, happy New Year's Eve, and I'm Ryan Cruz, and this is Get Your Mind Right. So, today we're going to talk about a wonderful technique that I've been using for about 4 years now, and it is called Living in the End. So, I got this from Neville Goddard. He has a book called Living in the End, and I'll be sure to put the information in the description box. So, who is Neville Goddard? I believe he is a wonderful person. He uses a lot of scripture along with his manifestation techniques to really explain to you the power of your mind, the power of yourself, the God that's within yourself, and how much you are in control of your world, how much you're just constantly manifesting, whether it's good or bad. So I think he's really someone amazing that you should look up. You should get some of his audibles because he's very forward. He's very honest, and he is just the king of manifestation to me. So yeah. So living in the end is basically what it is, what the title is, basically living in the end. This technique is really amazing for those who get caught up with the process of doing stuff, for those who get overwhelmed with the process of doing something. So, for example, if you wanted to write a 1200 page book, right? And you're starting to think about the publisher, the editor, who's going to make your cover, who is going to buy it, who's going to actually put it inside their bookstore. When you start to think about stuff like that, it can really deter you from wanting to move forward with writing that 1200 page book, or it can make you want to be, scheme yourself and say, okay, I'm not going to do 1200 pages. I'll do 600 pages, right? And so when we get caught up with the process, it really does make us just want to say, forget it, I give up. And so living in the end avoids you giving up. It avoids you getting caught up with the process, and it just makes you live at the end and think you have what you desire. So one live in the end moment that I had was my apartment. My sister, she was planning on moving because she wanted to buy a home. And so when I came over to her house the first time, her apartment here, I was like, wow, this is nice. You got like hardwood floor, granite top, all that type of stuff. She's like, yeah, I'm ready to move. I'm ready to buy a house though. So I'm ready. And so right when she said that, I was like, whoa, okay, Brian, you could probably take over her place, her old place. And so in California, it's not like you wake up one day and say you want an apartment. Like, even if you had the money, guess what? It's 6 more people who had that same type of income that wants that apartment as well. So you have a lot of competition out here. When my sister was ready to move and I was ready to move in, so what I always did, I just kept, right when she let me know that she wanted to move, I just began picturing me living in this place. I will picture me driving here. When I'll come here, I will act more comfortable here as though if it was my place already. So I really was living in the end. And so when it was time for her to move, it went by so smooth. Out of everyone I've watched, even herself, get an apartment, I know I'm the only person I know of that got an apartment like that. Like, just like that. Walls, everything clean, everything ready for me to move in. No having to do a background check, no competition, no nothing. And to get that in California, with it being so easy, I mean, that was really a very blissful moment for me. That was really me living in the end, and it just dropped in my lap. Another time that I lived in the end, and it just dropped in my lap a little bit. You do the work at the same time, but you're not focused on those details that you normally would focus on that would make you not want to continue it. But, I have a wellness clinic, and when I work for other people, I always got Yelp reviews. The people that are the old places I worked at, they'll get the Yelp reviews for you, right? And so when I was working for myself, I'm like, oh my God, how do I get these people to do my Yelp reviews without hounding them and bothering them and feeling like I'm forcing them to give me a Yelp review? So out here in California, again, Yelp is a major thing. You know, everyone is on Yelp. Everyone's Yelping somebody to get the information. So you do need to have a Yelp account. So I'm all nervous. I'm like, oh my God, I want to ask them. So I think of, you know, the live in the end thing. And I'm like, okay, Ryan, just start picturing your clients leaving you detailed Yelp reviews, right? Because I didn't want, oh, this was a good massage. I wanted them to explain my process. I wanted them to say that after that massage, how they actually felt and how that part of their body felt that they was having the tension or the pain in. I wanted really detailed reviews. I wanted reviews where they not only talk about the massage, but they could talk a little bit about my personality. So the next 2-3 months, you know, I didn't ask my clients none of that, but I did get a little piece of paper and I stuck it at the desk when they'll come in. And so what would start happening was a lot of my clients would say to me, oh, I got to remember to Yelp you, Brian. Oh, I got to remember to Yelp you. Oh my God, this was so good. I'm kicking myself in the butt because I keep forgetting to Yelp you. And I just kept saying, don't worry, don't worry. I'm just happy you here and you tell your friends and family how good I am. Because, you know, word of mouth is what brings you your clients a lot, especially in those type of businesses. So within that 2 to 3 months, I kid you not, one day I was on my Yelp in the back end part doing some stuff. And I looked up at the star part and it said 5 stars. And I'm like, what? And I go in there and I had about 4 Yelp detailed reviews. I mean, paragraph like this long. The massage, the experience of how the ambience of the area, my personality, my products, you know, my massage oils. They really gave some really detailed reviews where I was just like, wow. I didn't even know I was doing that well of how detailed they described me. And, you know, that was from me just constantly living in that end, not getting caught up and frustrated with how am I going to get them to give me this Yelp review? How am I going to get this to happen, you know? And so same thing with, you know, if you're trying to write a book, you know, don't focus on, I'm not saying don't think about your audience, don't think of who will publish you, but the main thing is you just want to write, right? And then you just want to always imagine people saying, you are people coming up to you saying, oh my God, that book you wrote, can I get it? Could you sign a copy for me? Oh my God, it changed my life. Are you walking to your spouse saying, look who made it to the New York Times. Look, you know, you got to think of yourself in that end. You know what I mean? Think of everyone congratulating you. Think of your friends talking to you and asking you details about the book. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say have them details ask you how long it took, but have them ask you, you know, questions about how did you feel when you completed the book, you know? And when you start thinking about these moments, let me tell you something. You don't have to sit somewhere. It's nice if you could sit somewhere quietly, but if you could do it while you're, like if you're doing some work and you just happen to look up at your cell phone, you know, in that moment, think of that moment someone sending you a text message because they're saying, oh my God, that book was amazing. Thank you. The more you think of that, I promise you, some way the universe makes it makes the outside world. It makes other people start either doing the process that you needed done for you. That's the kicker right there. I was working for a nonprofit and I had wanted to end up starting my own nonprofit. And this was around the same time I first learned about the technique. And I would just I kept always picturing me interviewing, talking to people at my own nonprofit, not at the person I worked at, but mine. And then I kept picturing me telling people, oh, I have a nonprofit and it's based about massage therapy. So if you ever wanted someone to come to your job or area to talk about massage therapy, that would be good for me because you're helping my nonprofit get out there. And you also are helping the people around you learn about massage therapy in a non-luxury way, but in a more holistic way, in a more necessary way, right? You know what I mean? Next thing you know, I think I worked at one of the nonprofits for about 2-3 years or something like that. Anyway, I went, signed up at City College. I go into the class. I meet this wonderful woman, and we're talking, right? And she like, have you talked to this counselor such and such? I'm like, no. She like, please go see him. Please, please, please. So usually to me, if someone tells me something, I kind of do listen, and I could get a good feeling that they telling me it's for my well-being. Go meet the counselor, y'all. Soon as I sit down, he says, do you think you would want to start a nonprofit? I said, yeah, I would love to. I do massage therapy. I guess I could do something, around that. He said, yeah, of course. And he did it. And I'll say something else too about my personality. I'm someone who likes to see how you do it. And I said, you know what? Let me let this man do what he gonna do. And then I had my nonprofit. Just like that. Living in the end. What I'm doing now, I've been thinking of for so long, reading different books, watching different people saying, I want to get on there. I want to talk about the things that I know that would be helpful. What did I start doing? The beginning of December, I was like, you know what? Before December, November, I kept picturing me just talking. And I kept picturing people writing me and doing things like that. And what am I doing now? Exactly that at this moment. I didn't try to think of what my topics was going to be. I didn't try to think of how I'm going to do this background, where I'm going to get lighting from, all that type of, because if I do that, it's going to make me give up. It's going to make me want to be like the people on YouTube who got their videos looking pretty cool and stuff, right? Yet everything is working out. My backdrop is a simple black. My lighting is so perfect, right? I have a 11 Pro. My camera's good. You know, my face and stuff look all pretty. My topics are good. Don't sweat the process. Live in the end. So please, if you do anything, if you watch this video and you're planning your new year resolution, go do an audible with Neville Goddard. Down below, I'm going to put in the description box a link to, it's a website that has actually Neville's books up there in like a PDF form. It's not illegal. It's all legit. And go check it out. Read up on Neville Goddard. And I'll continue to give great information about him, his techniques. But this living in the end technique is one of the ones where it's crazy. When you start picturing that end moment for you, that result, you begin to feel it in your body. It can bring tears to your eyes because you're living in that end result that you've been desiring. If you're a mother and you want to have a baby, don't think of, and it's hard for you to conceive, don't think of, okay, the in vitro, all that. All you picture is you holding that baby. That's all you picture. Just picture the end. You never know how you might get that baby. Come to find out, you might be able to give birth and have your own baby, right? Or somebody may have watched your struggle and said, I want to hold a baby for you. Just live in that end. You can even live to the point where you're holding the baby, or you could live in the end where that baby is grown, going off to college. This is what I mean by living in the end. The next thing that I want to get into sales. I want to get into selling software as a service. I want to get into that. You know what I'm picturing? Yeah, I found classes online for that, for me to learn it. But you know what I've been picturing? All I keep picturing is me closing deals, wearing a really nice collared shirt and my hair nicely done, and me just really having conversations with other people, closing them deals. Sitting at the computer, because, you know, maybe it'll be remote, closing them deals. Punching out emails, closing them deals. I'm not thinking about, oh, I don't have the specific experience for selling software as a service. I'm not thinking about that. If I do that, I'll drive myself crazy. What I will do is think of the end result, and what I will do is continue to put in applications. What I will do is feel how it would feel at the end of me breaking into that industry and being top notch. being a master in it, and then being able to talk in front of other people about it. That's what I'm going to picture. That's what I'm imagining. You can even tell the way that I'm talking about it now, that the feeling is coming out of me, right? You can feel it for me that you're going to end up saying 3-4 months from now, I'm going to have a video saying, y'all remember on New Year's Eve? Okay? So live in the end, y'all. Live in the end. Don't sweat the process. Go straight to the end. Picture everyone congratulating you. If you want me to help you live to the end, send me an email and say, I want to live to the end. This is what I want. Right. Write me something back telling me congratulations that I received it. Live to the end. You can do it. Have a wonderful, wonderful New Year's Eve. Have a wonderful New Year's Day. It's tomorrow. Right now I'm in California, Oakland, California, so it's 5 o'clock. We have 7 more hours till 12 a.m. and I'm drinking coffee right now. And tonight I'm going to be drinking rosé, prosecco, and probably some whiskey sours. So have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's Day. And I'll see you soon.